Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Anis, I'm the founder of Reverse Cuts, Master Video Editing School, and I will be your instructor for this class. The way I created this class is by gathering a lot of my tutorials where I explain step by step how to analyze, dissect and replicate visual effects from top tier music videos. This way you will have in one place everything that you need to bring your video editing game to the next level. Besides showing you how to create these effects in Premiere Pro and Photoshop sometimes, by learning with me you will realize how to replicate other advanced effects by yourself. A thing that I wanted to mention is that this course will be updated really frequently. As soon as I break down some new effect, you will be the first one to receive the tutorial. This is barely a start. If you want to know more about this class, you can read the description and check out all of the lessons. I will also provide free footage to help you follow me and practice. I did put Premiere Pro in the thumbnail, but you can achieve all of these effects in any other video editing software by following this class, as I'm sure none of these effects were actually made in Premiere Pro. That is just my personal preference. What that means is After Effects, Sony Vegas, Final Cut Pro and any other will work just the same. Join me now and let's get your video editing game to the next level. Let's create. We can do it. Alright, so before we actually get into this tutorial, I have something to address, so please listen to this. It's gonna take just a minute. What I wanted to say is that the reason because my recreation doesn't look exactly the same as Cole Bennett's is because I added my style to it. I know how to create this face drip effect for a while, so I finally put it to use. But this tutorial, if you follow it, it will show you how to paint a face on a face, so you can do whatever you want with it. I'm going to be personally painting this face drip effect, but of course by following this tutorial you will realize how the face drawing works and you will be able to recreate the same thing as Cole Bennett did. And I'm going to create the face drip for this tutorial, so if that's something you like you can follow me step by step, and if you want to create the same thing as Cole Bennett did you can just try it out and of course use the technique that I used in this tutorial. Thank you for your time. Alright, so right now I'm in Photoshop and I basically created a file, a project, which is 1920 by 1080, but of course it's whatever the preference of your video is. For example, if you have 1280 to 720 video, you can create that for the picture. It literally doesn't matter since we're going to cut the face out in Premiere Pro. So right now once you added it, it should look something like this. If you created a project out of a picture, if you created a project and just slapped on a picture, it should say background right here. You can keep it, you can delete it, it's whatever. So the first thing we're going to do is click right here on this ransom effect and in our layers of course, and click Ctrl+J. This is going to copy our layer. So right now I'm using a Windows as you can see, so it's Ctrl plus something for me. I'm not sure about you Mac users, don't trust me on this one, but I think it's Command unless you don't know, but I'm pretty sure you know what's the alternative for Control on a Mac. So just use that since I'll be using a lot of shortcuts, but don't worry, I'll be explaining each one of them. So right now we have this copy right here, and what we're going to do is click right here on this thing to create a new layer. We're going to use this layer to create our outline and we're going to call it color 1. Alright, so right now what we're going to do is click on this right here and click this thing right here. It's the brush tool. We're going to get this, and what you can do is right click this and choose the size of your brush. So let's say 17 I would say, and hardness you can of course use a different brush right here which you choose. And what I'm going to do right now is just click out and I'm going to select the color. So you can find whichever color you want. You can use the pen tool to get the same color which Cole Bennett used, but I'm just going to use some random one which is basically similar to that one. So let's say this blue face right here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is use this right here and zoom in. And what I'm going to do right now, actually let's zoom in a bit more. So we're going to draw a line on his face. We're going to do that by, as I said, click on the brush thing, and there's a shortcut that we're going to use. I don't know how to call this. I'm not a native English speaker. I don't know how you call this, but I will leave the keys on the screen so you can find them. And that's how you zoom in on your brush and zoom out. So there will be some thinner lines, some bigger ones. I will just leave the keys right here on the monitor so you would understand what I'm using to zoom in and out. So right now what I'm going to do is basically create the drip face as an outline. So we're going to do that by starting, let's say, I don't know, like with eyes. So right here, oops, we're actually going to use the black for the outline. Just switch it right here, the black should be at the background. So what I'm going to do is create an outline right here. You don't have to be a perfect drawing artist. My drawing sucks, as you can see. But actually, let's redo this. All right, there we go. So I'm just going to speed up this process because I wanted to show you how it looks. But of course, as you can see, let's say right now, I created some kind of a drip right here. And this is how you're going to create the drip. So this is basically how you create a drip effect. So just these little things right here, which are looking like a drip, and that's how you create a drip effect. So add a lot of these, and it's really simple. And I'm going to speed up this process now so you don't have to watch all of this. Alright, so I'm not gonna just overdo it because of the sake of the tutorial, so it doesn't last so long. So right now, what we're going to do is make another layer, and this layer we're going to keep it under the color. So drag it under the color, and from now on everything is going to be under the color 1 because this is our outline. So once you click on this layer right here, what you're going to do is go right here, right click it, and choose this polygonal lasso tool. What we're going to do right now is create a mask around this subject right here and just draw a simple mask. So I'm going to speed this up. Right, so now once we officially created our mask, what we're going to do is switch these colors up right here, and we're going to choose the brush tool right here. And what I wanted to mention is the reason why I'm speeding up this video and not just skipping it, I mean these parts where it's boring, is because I wanted to give you a feel and to understand what you can do. So for those of you who want to actually watch the whole part, you can just go into the options on YouTube and slow down the video. What I'm going to do is zoom in right now on my keyboard as I showed you, and I'm just going to paint the whole face, literally the whole face. And as you can see, our mask is helping us not dodge the lines and paint everything good. So this is just a simple process. You don't need to be careful. You have a mask that is doing the job for you. Just paint the whole face, and once you paint it, we're going to continue painting our other parts. And right now, as you can see, I've finished. Let me just see if there are any other touches that I can do. All right, so right now what we're going to do is click right here and create another layer. We're going to call this one eyes. And what we're going to do right now is go right here and select the color for our eyes. You can choose whatever you want. I'm just going to stick with the blue. And remember that we don't have a mask here, so you're going to just make your brush smaller and try to not dodge any lines. It's like painting where you were little kids. And this is also a short part, so I'm not going to speed this up. But for the other parts, we're going to have to speed it up because it's a bit boring. Alright, so right now what we're going to do is create another layer right here above the eyes, and we're going to call it mouth. We're going to use a different color for mouth. Click on mouth and go to the colors. Make sure you click on these layers, don't mess that up. So what we're going to do is, can we use something like this? Alright. Basically, we're just trying to point out our character, and with these colors it's going to do a pretty good job. So I'm going to speed this part up. Alright, so once you officially colored your mouth, what we're going to do is click on a new layer again, and this one we're going to call the eyeliner. So we're going to click on this, and those are going to be these lines right here that I drawn, which I found pretty interesting. And let's choose a yellow color like I did in my preview video, because I really like this color for this part, and I'm going to speed this up. Alright, so once we finished our eyes, it's officially a part where our image is going to stand out, and we're going to do that by coloring shadows and lights. We're going to keep right under eyes our shadows, And what we're going to do is name it, of course, shadows. And here's how you create shadows. So click on shadows, click right here for color, and click this blue color that we created right here. So basically just find the fitting point where it's a bit darker so it seems like a shadow to this color. So just click around and try to find the perfect image. In case you mess something up or you don't like the color, what you can just do is click Ctrl+Z to undo. For example, just like I did right now. So I want the darker one. And all right, that's perfect. So what we're going to do right now is just, let's say this is the part where our light is coming. So this is going to be our shadow right here. This thing that I'm painting right now. So of course you can make your, oops, I just deleted this. So what can you of course do is make your pen a little bit smaller, your brush. And here's how you're going to create the shadows. Just paint from the different side of the sky. That's what I did. So I'm going to speed up this part as I explained you what are you going to do. And yeah, see you once I finish. Alright, so I finally finished my shadows, and if you followed, as you can see, it gave way more detail to the characters. So what I'm going to do right now is add another layer right here under the eyes, and I'm going to call it light. So here's how you create the light. It's basically the same thing but opposite actually. So what we're going to do is click right here and take the color from this part again and basically just get a brighter color. So once you get it, just test it out, see if that's it. And yep, I think I actually got it from the first try. This could work. So you create the lights just from the opposite side of the shadows. It's that simple. So here's what I mean by that. So basically, if I have a shadow right here, what I'm going to do is actually create a light right here. And from this side right here and right here. So this is basically how I'm going to create a light. Just draw from the opposite side right here, and what you're going to get is this nice little feel of a shadow. And of course, what you need to do is keep the mask on for this part, because this is where we're going to draw the most light on the edge of the faces. So that's how you're going to keep the feel of the shadow. And right now I'm going to speed up this part so you don't have to watch this whole, and I will see you once I finish. So once you've finished drawing your lights, as you can see, I'm seriously not any professional artist, so I don't know exactly how these things work in art, so don't judge me. Alright, so what I like to do also is create little dots on its face to give it more detail. So what I basically do is the next. So I switch around with my drawing tool, make it bigger, I make it smaller, and I just add these little dots all over the face. So create one big one, maybe right here, as you can see. So just to give it a bit more detail, and this is just a personal preference, and I think we're pretty much done here. So what I'm going to do right now is export this image. So I'm going to show you how to export it in the biggest quality for our Premiere Pro project, and here's how you do that. So once you finish your face, what you can do right here is just zoom out, fit on screen, all right, and click space, Control D. And what we're going to do right now is click File right here, Export, quick export as PNG, and basically find your locations. So mine is right here. Let's call it Ransom Effect for the tutorial. And that's literally it. You just exported your picture, quick export as PNG, and that should be it. You should have your picture. So right now what we're going to do is take our face drip monster and import it into Premiere Pro. And right now we'll show you how to actually use this in Premiere Pro and how to mask it out. Alright, so we're officially into Premiere Pro, and right here I will show you how to mask it out and how to make it disappear step by step. So I'm going right here I have the video where I created the snippet or the preview. It's the original one, as you can see, but I deleted the part where I had my mask because we're just going to create it right now. So what I wanted to point it out is, as you can see right here, the mask looks thin. So as soon as he starts removing the mask as a transition, he adds this black thick part, which basically seems like it's removing the mask. So what I wanted to say is this is really easy to create. You can literally create this in Premiere Pro with a line or drawing, but I personally think this is not as big of a detail, so you don't need this. If you want to, you can create this, but I'm just not going to create it because it's not unnecessary. I mean, it's not necessary. So I'm going to go to the part where I have it right here, and I'm going to take my ransom effect for the tutorial, add it right here, and as you can see, the mask applies right away because we have this picture on top. What we're going to do is the next. Make sure you line up your video and your mask right here. So what we're going to do is click on our mask, click this free draw bezier. It's a pen tool which we're going to draw with. What we're going to do right now is go right here on the preview box, click right here, panel group, and maximize panel group. Also, what you can do is go right here to fit and take it to about, let's say 150. That should be enough. Actually, 200. And right here we have our mask as close as possible. We're going to do the same thing as we did in Photoshop where we masked out our face, so we actually can create it. So just draw this mask, easy and done, like literally right here. So just so we can have this face cut out. So I'm going to speed up this part because you understood and you don't need to watch this whole thing. Alright, so I just created the mask, and what I'm going to do is go right here again and go to panel group size, restore panel group size, and make this 200 back to fit. What we're going to do is drop down the mask feather to 0 because we're going to lose all the black line that we created. And right now it's time to animate our face. We're going to do that by clicking away from the mask. So as you can see, our mask is selected. So if we drag this out, it's going to drag out this line that we just created. But if we click out and click on motion right here and start removing this, as you can see, we only have the mask, and this little tekka that you see in the background is actually right here from this video. So we're going to animate it right now. We're going to use for this, as you know, our scale is good. It's directly on the face. So what we're going to do right now is the position and the rotation of the mask. So click right here and go to the start where it happens. I would suggest to zoom in a little bit. And what we're going to do right now is the next. So let me just drag this up here. Right. All right. So let me just get the mask at a place where it is. And let's zoom it in a bit. Actually, no, let's see how much we need. So let's see right here. So we actually see what we're doing. So right now what we're going to do is click one frame ahead and actually go back, sorry. Click right here on the stopwatch on position and rotation. So that way we're going to be able to animate it. So right now what I'm going to do is, and right now I'm going to move a frame ahead, drop it down a bit. Move frame ahead, drop it down a bit, and as you could tell, it did rotate a bit, so I'm going to rotate it just a little bit. Alright, so make sure you line it up again once you rotate it, and move one frame ahead, drop it down a bit, and rotate it a bit. Once you rotate it exactly to the angle of his face, you're going to line it up as it is. So as you can see, this part is basically just repetitive like this, and I'm going to speed it up once again because you don't need to watch all these things. So basically what you're going to do is move frame ahead and make sure you position the mask of the face well. So I'm going to stop right here because the fingers are appearing, and I'm going to cut out the image, and I'm going to delete the rest of it because we don't need it. So here's the thing we just created. So it's tracking his face right here. It's really simple. So what are we going to do right now, as you remember, and the thing that Cole Bennett created is this face removal, this mask removal right here. And as I said, you can create the line, but I don't want it. So what I'm going to do right here is see for how long we actually created the effect. So I'm going to click right here on the mask and count the frames. So 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. All right. So what I'm going to do is go back, and I want to leave 5 frames of it as a normal picture because I want it to stand out. I want people to see the mask. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be where the mask should appear normally. And we have the rest of these frames where we're going to create the cutout. So we're going to do that by creating another mask. And what I wanted to do to make sure I don't mess up anything is just right click this and nest it. So once you nest the picture, only the picture, right now as you can see this is clear, and what I'm going to do is create another mask. So this can be literally any type of a mask because we're going to be removing his face. Make sure you drop the feather down to 0 because we want it to be choppy. And let's start. So as we counted, we have 12 frames, we left 5 as to be normal ones. So basically what is going to happen is we're going to have 7 frames of the face mask removal. What I want you to do is click invert right here so the mask would actually appear on top and we would remove it step by step. So what we actually have right here is the next thing. Right here on our 4th frame, we're going to click mask path and click again on the mask and reveal our whole face. And as you have the face, once you move step forward, what you can do is reveal some of the face as I just did. So once you do that, let's drag this up a bit to make it choppy. All right, like that. So once you do that, go frame ahead and just remove this right here. And it's literally just revealing the face like this. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to speed up this part. Alright, so once you've actually finished the mask and you reveal the whole face, this should be your final output. So you would have the face for 5 frames and then it should start removing. Let's check out what we just created. So first the original, let's get this back to fit right here and let's watch it. As you can see, it's really simple. Our mask did remove a little bit faster is because his mask removes at about 10 frames or 11 I think, and our did remove in 7 frames. But basically, as you can see, this is the effect. So we have the face revealed for a couple of seconds, it's tracking his face and the mask starts removing. So yeah, that will be it for this tutorial. I know it was a little bit longer, but I just had to show all the steps and I wanted to go in depth about this. And after all of this time, I seriously don't need your likes. I don't want to bother you with that. So all I want to say is subscribe to the channel if you want to keep learning Premiere Pro with me or these cool little effects. So thank you for watching me. Thank you for having me here. If you want 2 free months of Skillshare to keep learning somewhere else other than YouTube from professionals, it's Skillshare. It's one of the biggest e-learning platforms online that you can find. You can learn literally anything from videography to Premiere Pro, whatever you want, from drawing, literally everything. So make sure to click down in the below, first link in the description. It should guide you to 2 free months of Skillshare. No fees or taxes or anything. You won't get paid at the end of the month or something. Literally free. Go check it out. Thank you for having me here. As I said, make sure to subscribe to stay learning. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this video. And thank you for your time. I'm out. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new tutorial, and it's from Reverse Cuts here, and this is going to be one of our series where we recreate a music effect video. I mean an effect from a music video, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, so as you know, Post Malone uploaded the song Circles, and in there I noticed an effect that he's using quite a lot. I need to adjust something, so in order to create the no mouth effect, your target needs to be steady. It's gonna have to be a steady shot. Your character is not gonna have to move a lot. because it's really hard to track it and to make it look natural if your character is moving. So if you go back to Post Malone's video, you will notice that whenever he does, his editor, whenever he does the no mouth, the person, the girl in the video is not moving. It's literally a steady shot. So what I need you to do is get your footage in. This is going to be my footage. I got it from the trial version of stock footage. Shout out to these guys. So what basically I'm going to do is go to the first shot, and I'm going to click this right here, this camera, to export this frame. I'm going to name it the, let's say, no mouth shot, and choose PNG or JPEG is the same thing. And make sure you select the path right so you would know where it goes, so you can get it out there, and click OK. So basically we just exported a shot. So right now we're going to minimize Premiere Pro and go to Photoshop. Once you go to Photoshop, create a new project and make sure it's the same width and height as your project in Premiere Pro. So what I'm going to do now is go to my destination where I saved the photo. I'm going to go to recordings, video editing, right here, no mouth shot, import it right here. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Right here, you see this effect, it's called a clone stamp tool. So basically what this is doing is, if you click on it, and as you can see right now, it doesn't let me do anything. So what I have to do is hold Alt and select the layer where I want to copy. So just choose some part of the skin that you want to cover the mouth with. So I'm going to take this, and if I hold Alt and press right here, basically what happens is I selected the area which I'm going to copy. If this appears, it says that this needs to be rasterized. Just click OK. And as you can see, I just selected this right here. And you can of course change the size of this brush, but just make small movements. Don't make them too hard, because it will take up, it will mess up the picture. So here's what's happening. As you can see, while I move this, you can see a little plus above her head. I can't show it to you because I need to use my mouse, but as you can see, this plus above the circle is what the surface is taking off the copy. So basically, if you get to right here and do this, as you can see, you're going to copy a nose, and that's something that we don't want. So what are you going to do if you run into a problem like this? Just cover the mouth, and once the plus comes to the nose or something that you don't want, what you're going to do is hold Alt again and select again this surface, and then start from here. So it's going to repeat the process from here. And that's how you're going to save up your shot from not going into nose or something else. And as you can see, I'm repeating the same process. Just make small movements. And after we finish this, as you can see, I got to the nose, I'm resetting it. So after I finish covering the mouth, what I'm going to do is make this smoother. So as you can see, we can see the rough edges. And what I'm going to do is the next thing. So let me just cover some parts that I messed up. Alright, so what are we going to do now once we cover the mouth is the next thing. We're going to go right here, and we're going to right click this. It should say blur tool for you, but you need to select the smudge tool. And what we're going to do is go right here and mess around with this, and for the strength it's going to be at 100 for you. What I would advise you to do is get it down to about 15% or 20%. That's normal, and just make slow movements around the edges. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to smooth out the edges, and you're basically going to blur out the edges, and it's going to make this effect look natural. So just press around and make these edges smoother. Maybe bump this up a bit, and I'm going to speed up this process, and I'm gonna see you once we're done. So once we're finally done with the mouth covering, what we're going to do is export our picture, because that's all we need. So go to File right here, Export, Quick Export as PNG, and I'm going to save it at the same location. I'm going to call it Mouth Shot Final. And once you export it, just exit Photoshop because we don't need it anymore. What I'm going to do right now is take the no mouth shot final and place it into our project into Premiere Pro. And I'm going to place it above above our video right here. Drag it to as much as you want your video to last for. And what we're basically going to do right now is go right here where it says fit and change it to 100. We're going to zoom in like this so we can make a mask. What we're going to do is click on our shot and click this pen tool, this free draw bezier on opacity. And once you click it, just make a rough mask around the subject's mouth. So what we did right here is we created a mask around its mouth. And what we're going to do is animate them. So as you can see right now from our picture, just get this back to fit from 100 to fit. So from our picture, we only have our mouth and the background is our shot. So if you want to track it to the object, I would advise you to use After Effects and look up a tutorial for that, because After Effects has this face tracking feature, which is really amazing. Unfortunately, Premiere Pro doesn't have it. So what I'm going to do is click right here to track our selected mask as best as it can, but trust me, it's not gonna be looking pretty good. So what else you can do right here is mess around with the mask feathering. Of course, you can increase it a bit or drop it down, just find the desired look for yourself. I'm going to zoom in again and see what I can do with this. So basically, if we select the mask and if we do the mask expansion right here, we're gonna get more blurred. And if you drop the opacity, of course, you can mess around with the shot. So basically what we created right here is something that we like. So right now I'm going to click this to track it. I'm going to speed this up. Alright, so our mask finally finished, and as you can see, it didn't do a well job. So what I'm going to do right here is zoom in, and as I said, if you're not using After Effects, the tracking is going to be a pain in the ass. So what I'm going to do is right here cut out the part where my character shakes its head, and it's right about here. What you can do right here is go to the video transitions, go to dissolve, and what I'm going to do is take the dip to white right here. Oops, let me just nest these two so I don't mess up anything. What I'm going to do is drop the dip to white, and it says that I have some repetitive frames, which I don't mind. So right here, here's our effect. Of course, you can do a better thing with the tracking right here. As you can see, it's not moving with the target. You can do a better tracking of that. But the purpose of this tutorial was to show you how to actually lose the mouth. So thank you for having me here, guys. Thank you for learning with me. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe and make sure to turn on the notification post to not miss out on the tutorials. I upload tutorials pretty often. And let me know down in the comments what you want to see next as a tutorial. Thank you for having me here. Make sure to check out Skillshare. If you click the first link in the description below, you'll get 2 months of Skillshare for free. That sounds awesome if you want to keep learning. So thank you for having me here. I'm out. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new tutorial, and it's from VerseCats here. And if by any case you remember from my last tutorial, I tried recreating a Cole Bennett visual effect, which went pretty well. So if you want to check that out, the link will be down in the description. So right now I will show you how to recreate this. I've seen him use this a lot lately, and that's why I decided to recreate it. So as you've seen in the previous video, I think I did a well job. So let's start. So right here in our timeline, I have 2 shots. This is going to be the one that is going to be covering the intro. So if you remember from Lil Tecca's video, he had 3 same shots, which he placed one here, and one here, and the 2 on the sides were rotated. And this shot I'll be using to come out like from the bottom like he did. So let's start. What you have to do first is hold Alt and drag out the first clip, so you would actually get a duplication of the first clip, so that would be 3 same shots, and just stack them up in 3 video tracks, and get the woman, our model, on top or whatever you're using. So what I did right here is I clicked this eye tool to hide it, for a second because we first want to work with these watch scenes, and later we'll make this woman appear from the bottom. So right now I'll just click this right here to cover her, and I'm going to go to the effects tab and search for an effect called crop in the effects bar. I'm going to place it on every single clip, and after I place it I will explain you what we're going to do. So let's start from the bottom from the top to the bottom, I'm sorry. So click on the first one, and from left to right we can adjust the crop, and let's say add 35% to left, 35 to bottom. And you probably won't notice any detail, but trust me, we will see the detail once we align them. So what we're going to do right now is go to this one, let's say, click motion right here. Actually not motion, I'm sorry. Just use this position thing and drag it out. So line it up to where you think it fits. So let's say right here. What I also wanted to mention is use the bottom one for the left side, this one for the right side, and the one on the top for middle, because we're going to need the one to be on the top, which is in the middle, because of this woman model that's going to pop out. That's the reason. Let's go now to the second one and just drag the opacity to the right and line it up like this. So for now we actually got the effect, and right now what is happening right here, we just got 3 same shots. So what we're going to do right now is go on to the woman and click 35 left and bottom, same process, but once we reveal her, as you can see it covers right here. So what we're going to do is use this right here on the position to drop her down, and it's going to drop her down from the start. What we're going to do now, let's say so basically for 1 second it's a normal clip, same thing as in Lil Tecca's video, and then from 1 second it's going to start dragging up for like 1 exact second. So at 2 seconds she should cover the whole screen. So what we're going to do is click this position right here, make sure you selected her, the model on top, and what we're going to do is move up to 2 seconds, sorry, and change this back to 540. So as you can see, what basically happened is she's covering this right here normally as in the video, but we don't want her to cover it, we want her to push out this middle watch. So we're going to achieve that by doing pretty much the same thing. So basically go on to the 1 second where the clip starts appearing and add a position right here, and what we're going to do right now is go to 2 seconds and make sure it slides off the screen. So let's go back a couple of seconds so we actually see what we're doing. And if we drag it to the left, it's gonna go up. So let's say at about minus 540. And let's say it happens at exactly 2 minutes. So what do we have here? Let's delete this. It was a mistake. So basically, here's what's happening. As you can see, we just recreated the whole thing, so it's basically pushing out the effect. But as you remember right here, once the middle video appears, it is going to push out the other 2 on the sides, and it's going to fit the whole screen. So we're going to animate this by clicking on our woman again, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to animate our crop now. Basically, we animate the position from down to up. Right now, we're going to animate our crop, I'm sorry. So let's go back to 2 seconds. And as I remember from Lil Tecca's video, as soon as it reaches top, it's going to spread out and push these clips out. So basically at 2 seconds, create this keyframes right here by clicking the stopwatch for animation right here. And let's say at 3 seconds exactly, it's going to cover the whole screen. So what we're going to do is get this back to 0, these 35s. 0, yep. And right now we're gonna have to do some stuff with these watches on the side, as we did the one in the middle is going to push them out. So let's animate that. What we're going to do right now is go at exactly 2 seconds, go to the first watch, and let's what should we do? We should animate the position, I think. So click the position right here on it, and at exactly 3 seconds, move it up to 3 seconds. Actually, let's go back a little bit so we can see what's happening. Or just, yep, go to 3 seconds exactly. And what you're going to do is drag this out. And if we go back, we can see the clip is getting covered, but it's not getting covered enough. So what we're going to do is make this a bit bigger, and right now, as you can see, it seems pretty normal. We're going to just get this keyframe and drag it out a bit closer, so it should finish pretty normally. And what we're going to do right now is repeat the same process for the right one. So go right here and add a keyframe on position and go down to 3 seconds and drag this. Let's see if we should drag this out, or I mean right to left. So it's right. All right. So let's say 3 seconds, get this keyframe right here and drag it out at about like this. Check out if it's good. As you can see, it's a little bit late on the clip in the middle. So what we're going to do is, of course, make this a bit faster by increasing this. Let me just increase this way more. And right now it's a bit too much. So I'm going to be dropping the clip a bit. So let's say at 220. Just a bit outside. Alright, there we go. We officially created the video. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. So the woman comes in, it pushes out the other clips, and that's how you create the effect, which Cole Bennett has been using a lot lately in his videos. It actually turned out pretty simple. So basically what we did right here to cap it all off, we added crop effect to all of these. We placed 3 same at the first 3 tracks, and on top we created the video that is going to be pushing out all of these. So we added 35% on left and right to all of these. Then we animated the woman to come up with the clip which is in the middle, and then we animated the woman to push out the sides by removing these videos from their positions. So basically that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to subscribe. I seriously don't need your likes. I'm not gonna bother you with that. I just want you to subscribe so we can keep learning on this channel. And right now, I think is the right time that if you want to keep learning Premiere Pro, I meet you guys with Skillshare. So Skillshare is one of the biggest e-learning platforms that you can find nowadays. It literally tops everything when it comes to Premiere Pro, After Effects, I don't know, videography, drawing, literally everything that you can learn, you can find it on Skillshare. And I'm going to provide you with 2 free months, literally no taxes. It won't take you money after 2 months or anything. It's not a scam. You can get 2 months to learn for free as a test from me, because I'm an instructor right there. So go click on the first link in the description below and make sure you get those 2 free months. So thank you for having me here, guys. Make sure to subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this video, and I'm out. Hello everyone, and it's from Reverse Cuts here, and welcome back to another tutorial. So this tutorial, I decided to give you something for free. It's been a while since I gave away something, but I want to state something. Before you just go in the description and download this video and you have no idea how to use it, please stick around and watch this tutorial. I promise you, it's actually really hard to use this animation, call it whatever you want, this transition, I don't know, this paper rip video. It's actually tricky to use it, and I'm pretty sure you won't find a good way to use it. So stick around so I can show you the proper way of how to use it. I will show you how to use it and how to make it look better. So please watch this tutorial. Let's jump straight into the video and let me show you. So okay, first you need to add the clip, which video you want to come out of the paper rip. So I want this simple video of this DJ. For some reason it zooms in. Let me just zoom out. All right, so I want this to come out of a video. Out of the paper rip. I want this to be on as the main screen, and I want the DJ to come out of the paper rip. So what I'm going to do right now is actually take the green screen right here, and I'm going to unlink it from the audio because we don't need it. All right, so as you can see, it's kind of slow. It takes 10 seconds up to load in. So I'm going to speed it up by right-clicking the animation, speed and duration, and I'm gonna make it 200. I would say, yeah, that's twice as fast. So that's gonna work well. All right, so what are we going to do right now is the next. We're going to search right here a color key, and we're going to apply it to our green screen. Go to the effects tab and take this pen tool right here and click on the blue. First, we're going to reveal the blue. So once you do that, we're going to actually just boost the color tolerance to where we're actually going to lose all the blue color. And once you lose all the blue color and you think it's looking nice, I'm going to get edge tint to 2 just so I lose all the blue edges that appear. Pretty sure that you got this right. What you're going to do is the next. So you're going to nest this video that's behind right here and the green screen. That's a crucial tip when it comes to creating this effect. So you need to nest them. So flag them over, right click them, nest them, and call it whatever you want, doesn't matter. Create the nested sequence. And what we're going to do right now is add another color key on top of this nested sequence, and take this what is called eyedropper tool, click the green, and right now increase the color tolerance to where it seems natural. All right, so let me just find something that looks right to about right here. Let's see, yeah, edge tint to 2. That makes it look natural. And for now, you actually created the transition, as you can see, but it kind of seems unnatural. So I'm going to double click this nested sequence, zoom in right here to where this animation ends, cut off this, go back. And as you can see right now, it seems normal. So what are we going to do to actually enhance this transition? Because you can't just leave it like this. It's going to look stupid. What we're going to do right here is to where the transition actually happened, like let's say right here, and it's done. So what I'm going to do is click on this next nested sequence, then go to the effects right here and search transform. I'm going to drop this transform, which is underneath distortion, on our nested sequence, scroll down to which in the effects tab. And what I'm going to do right now is check the scale at 100 to add a keyframe right here, click the stopwatch, go just a little bit in front, and I'm gonna boost this all the way until we came into the screen. It doesn't matter how much, so just so we lose the transition. What I'm going to do right now is, as you can see, we just created this. Let's press enter so we render out this red part, which is not rendered. And as you can see now, it's looking normal, but I have a couple of other tips to make this sound and look realistic, and what to do if you want to apply some transitions. Please watch this. This is a really also important part. So what I was trying to say is the next. So right here, what I like to do is add a motion blur. So what I'm going to do is uncheck this, use composition shutter angle, and change the shutter angle to 180. This is going to give it a nice motion blur, as you can see in the background, and it's going to make it look way better. What I also like to do is I have this tear rip sound. Wait, let me just drag it in here. And I'm going to, I already selected it. I found it on YouTube. It's free. So what I like to do is drag this in. And what we're going to do right now is add another thing, which is a wash sound effect. And we're going to add it to exactly where the transition is about to happen. So right here. Alright, so that looked pretty good, but as my last tip, what I have to say is if you're trying to add some transitions, let's say right here, maybe some simple transitions, it doesn't matter, zoom in, zoom out, or just a simple default transition, don't do that like this, because if you do it, as you can see, it's going to mess up the picture. You're going to see two pictures at the same time. So how we're going to do it is by creating an adjustment layer right here. And once you create the adjustment layer, I already have mine, is apply it on top of all those clips, like drag it on top of those clips, and then add the default transition or any other that you're trying to use right here at the top. So as you can see right now, we're not losing any picture and it's looking normal. And if you're also wondering how I created that muffled sound before the transition actually happened and once the paper was opened and it got sounding normal again, you can get that tutorial. Learn how to create this effect throughout the tutorial, which I created. It's for free on YouTube. It's going to be displayed as an end screen. Thank you for having me here and thank you for watching this whole tutorial. If you did watch this whole tutorial, I'm not gonna ask for your likes or something. I seriously don't need it. I'm just glad that you stick around throughout this whole tutorial and watched it till the end to learn all this stuff, because it's really tricky, as you've seen, to actually use this. It's kind of tricky and you probably will mess up the first time because you need to nest some things. You need to apply color key to different stuff. You need to line it up perfectly. And those are the stuff that I wanted to explain, and also these audio sounds which enhanced this transition. So thank you for having me here. Thank you so much. And that will be it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm out. Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new tutorial, and it's ReverseCuts here, and today I have a really simple and easy tutorial for you. This one is called a frame hold transitions. Some people like to call it frame freeze transition too, but it's pretty much the same thing. So without further ado, let's jump into it and let's recreate what you just seen in the preview video. So you need to go right away to the middle of this two scenes, and of course you're going to need two scenes and go into the middle where they switch, as you can see right here. What I'm going to do is go right in the middle, zoom in as much as I can, and click my right arrow. That's going to move my playhead one frame ahead. So if I press C to get this shortcut for eraser tool and cut this right here, there's going to be one frame only. So we're going to need a frame hold right here for this transition to happen, and there are two ways to create it. There's an easier way and there's a harder way. You can make a screenshot right here, just go right here, take a screenshot, import the picture, drag it out for as much as you like, but of course you can use the easier way and just hold Alt, duplicate this right here, right click this, and click add frame hold. So what we're going to do right now is click on this right here, make sure you clicked on this, and go to the effects control. Right here I did some color grading, that's nothing to do with this tutorial. Go right here to opacity and click this free draw Bezier. So this is something that we're going to use to actually create the mask of the guy that we had in our preview video. So click this right here, and what I want you to do right now is go right here to these three lines and go to panel group settings, maximize panel group. This is going to help you to make a better mask since you zoomed in and you know better what you're doing. It's pretty easy to create a mask like this, and not when it's only this small. So this is way easier. So just start drawing a mask around this guy. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's gonna happen only in a couple of frames, and I'm going to speed up this part right here so you don't have to watch this boring part, and I'm gonna see you once we continue. So once you finally finish the mask, what you're going to do is click right here again, go to panel group settings and restore panel group size. Right now we're back into the workspace and we're going to create the actual transition. So actually, but if you want to remove some of the lines that you don't want, you can just remove the feathering and it's going to look normal. But I'm going to add just a bit of feathering. And right now, if we click right here and zoom out, you can see that we already finished the transition and it's exactly what we wanted. But what I like to do is just zoom in and explain a little bit more. So what I also like to do once I finish the mask is to add a VHS overlay to my character, let's say. So it will have a VHS overlay right here, and when it starts actually playing the second clip, it's gonna lose it. So I'm going to do that by using the VHS from my free preset pack, which you can find, in the description. It's my free preset pack, so you can get the VHS one. And what you're going to do is click on the frame hold right here, copy the mask, right click and copy it, go right here on the VHS and right click the opacity and paste it. So right now, as you can see, it has only the overlay right here and it's not looking natural. So what I like to do is go on the mask right here, click on the blending mode and change it to screen. So as you can see, our character now has a VHS overlay, and here how it's look as a final. And of course I have the music right here as you've seen in the preview video. So that would actually be it. That's how you create the frame hold transition. Thank you for having me here, and because you stick around throughout this whole tutorial, I have to mention something to you. So I have this Premiere Pro course which you can find in the description below or as the first pinned comment down in the comment section, and it's actually a video that will show you how to edit your audio and make it sound professional, same as mine. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, make sure to click the link below. Thank you for having me here, thank you for learning with me, and I'm out. Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new tutorial, and it's from Reverse Cuts here, and today I will show you how to create the skeleton effect. First of all, I want to address something. I'm not going to show you how to create this effect from point A to point B. Yes, I'm going to go in depth on this effect and show you exactly how to make it, but I'm not going to replicate it exactly how Cole Bennett did it, because I think for this effect, he did use some plugins, as you can see, because this invert effect, you can create it exactly like this in Premiere Pro. So he probably tweaked some plugins right here. And for this X-ray thing right here to make it glow and look blue, I think he did some coloring and masking, especially for this guy. He probably did some masking to make him like this whitish blue. So I'm going to show you how to create this effect, but to get the exact same look as Cole Bennett did, you're going to have to tweak some options. So as you can see, he only used this effect for 2 frames, but of course you can use it for how much you want. It doesn't matter. And I like mine effect to be 5 frames, so I'm going to show you how to create it in 5 frames, but it's exactly the same process as for 2 frames. And here's a tip right off the bat. When you're on YouTube and you're trying to snatch an effect, basically what you can do to look at frame by frame is press your comma and your dot. So by pressing your dot, you can go 1 frame forward. So that's really interesting and that's really cool to know, as you can see. So this is the actual effect. So I'm going to show you how to recreate this. Right here in Premiere Pro, I have this normal footage of this girl right here. And I'm going to show you how to implement this skeleton effect right here. It's really easy. Don't worry about this adjustment areas for my crop bars right here because I needed them. I like it that way. So let's start with the tutorial. What I first want to show you is when you want to create this effect, you're going to find a place where you want the effect to happen. So let's say right here, make a cut. And I like my effect to be long 5 frames. So I'm going to hold shift and right click actually not right click, press my right arrow. So shift and right arrow, make another cut, and that will be exactly 5 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to the effects tab and search for the invert effect. Underneath channel tab, you're going to see this invert effect. Place it on top of your clip, and as you can see, your video should get the effect right here. What we're going to do right now is tweak this right here. So You can basically change around these. Going to the effects tab underneath video invert, you have this RGB right here. You can play around with it. A lot of people like to use luminance, but I'm going to use RGB just because it has this blue color. And right now we need the actual skeleton. I found my skeleton on Google Images, which is really easy. Just search skeleton transparent background. As you can see, I already did it. I downloaded this one because it's the most normal one, but you can look around and see which one fits for you. And also what I wanted to say is, if you want to animate it to move up with your character, you can actually just mask it out and keyframe it. So that's really easy. And once you download it, by right clicking, going to save image. Once you download it, I have mine on desktop. I'm gonna go to desktop, and right here, I'm gonna import it into my project. Go to my project, use my skeleton right here and place it above my effect. Cut it down to exactly where we want it to happen. And as you can see, it's a little bit oversized. I'm gonna click on this image right here, click on this motion thing, and I'm gonna scale it. But first we need to drop down the scale so we can actually see it. I'm gonna just use it from right here to its head. So something like this. I'm going to cut out the rest of it. So what I'm going to do to cut it out is click on this thing right here, free drop Bezier, so we can actually mask it out. And click right here on these three lines, go to panel group settings, maximize panel group. What I'm going to do right now is mask this out. It can be a rough mask because it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and that's it. So right now we're going to go right here, panel group, restore panel group size once we masked it out. And what I'm going to do is drop the mask feather to 0 because I don't need any feathering. What I'm going to do right here is click on this motion thing right here, and I'm going to adjust it so exactly where I want the effect to happen. I'm going to twist it a little bit, but of course you can also add another mask and cut his head, so you can adjust it to this model right here so it can be twisted on the side. But that's something simple, and that's something that I really don't worry about because, let's be honest, this effect is only 5 frames. Not a lot of people would notice that the head wasn't really adjusted to the body. So those are some things that you shouldn't be worrying about. But if you really want to, if you're a fanatic for this, if you want to cut his head out and make it exactly right by the angle of this normal head of this woman, what you can do is create another mask, mask this out, mask this head, and place it right here. But you will need to duplicate your clip. So once you do that, you can just twist your head to the side just like this, and it should be really easy. What I'm going to do now is increase the size of this because I want to adjust it exactly how it is. Create it a little bit more. I'm going to twist this to the side. Something like this should be fine. As I said, guys, remember that you don't need to create it perfectly because not a lot of people will notice that. It's not something important. That's why I don't worry about those things too much. So right now, what I want to show you is, because I don't really know how to create the glowing X-ray effect, I can show you how to create a normal glow. So first of all, I will press enter. So this red line right here should render out. And as you can see, this is the effect for now. But what we're going to do to recreate the glow is duplicate this clip right here, hold Alt and drag this up right here and search for Sapphire, Gaussian blur. Gaussian. I don't know how people like to pronounce it. Some people pronounce it Gaussian, some Gaussian, doesn't matter. Go to blur and sharpen, get this Gaussian, drop it onto your first clip right here. And once you are here, like, click on it and change its opacity to screen. What we're going to do is change this to screen right here. And as you can see, it's already glowing, but we're going to increase this to about 80-ish so we can get this glow effect. And as you can see, you can change it to horizontal and vertical, but of course, horizontal and vertical at the same time should be great. Repeating edge pixels should like mask it out, actually add the blur completely, but this is fine for now. And what you can do is actually adjust the mask a bit if you want to, be exactly where it is. So what I'm going to do right now is click on the motion, adjust just a little bit, and that will be it. So right now, once we press effect for this to render out, this should be the actual effect, because as you can see, what Cole Bennett also did is right here let's chop this out and go right here. So chop the video where the invert effect is, and change this RGB to something else. Let's see what's the most similar. So something like this. And if we press enter to render this out, as you can see, oops, if this happens to you, as you can see this, if this happens to you, what you need to do just is drag the clip out and oops, and drag it back. It's really that easy, actually. And as you can see in the video effect, what Cole Bennett did is just add another glow to the same visualizing, so it would look normal. It will actually be just noticeable at that point once you add the other effects. So as you can see, this will be done. And as you can see also in the Cole Bennett's video, the skeleton is standing still, so don't worry about this. This is the actual effect. What Cole Bennett also did is added a grain effect, a VHS effect. So you can do that by searching VHS or, oh, actually not VHS, grain in your effects tab, and you should use the normal noise right here. So what you can do is add it to the video, but since it's chopped up, what I like to do is drag this adjustment layer up, add another adjustment layer right here, cut it out, get this noise right here, and of course just increase it. But uncheck this use color noise, because when it use the normal color noise, the normal noise, not the colored one, and this should be the final effect. Yeah, that would be it, guys, for this effect. I hope you enjoyed this effect. And I made this effect because I made this tutorial for this effect because this song was really popping right now. This Crisis Jazz, I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's name, but it was directed by Cole Bennett, edited by Cole Bennett, and I really love this guy. I love his work, so I just had to recreate this in a tutorial. Thank you for having me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something new. If you did learn something new, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you want to see something specific as a tutorial. Thank you for having me. Smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, and I'm out. Alright, so hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new tutorial. I haven't posted in a while, so I decided to do something really cool, and I will be showing you how to create this trippy trending video effects in Premiere Pro. The reason why I call them trendy is because I've seen a lot of these popular video editors, visual effects artists use them, and they're really easy to create. That's why I named them for beginners. So without further ado, let's start right away. So right here I have these two clips which I'm going to apply these effects on, and the first one which we're going to do is really good for the bass drop or the beat drop. Just search in the effects directional blur, and once you add the directional blur, just apply it to your clip. What you're going to do is find the position where you want your effect to start. So let's say like right about here at 8 seconds. What I'm going to do is click the stopwatches and leave these at 0. What I'm going to do right now is hold shift and click the right arrow, and that's going to move me about 5 frames, as you can see. What I'm going to do right now is increase the blur length to about 100. That should be enough, for 90, whatever. So change the directional blur to about 270 degrees. So that's going to be a full spin right here. And what are we going to do? As you know, like just zoom in, get to the effect, and just move 1 frame ahead and get all of these to 0 so they reset. So as you can see, let's preview what we have right here. This is really good for the beat drop, and if you make it even more longer, it's gonna be much more visualizable. And what we're going to do right now is jump to the second clip, and this is where I'm going to use a couple of things in one to create one single effect. So what I'm going to do right now is drop this VHS right here. You can find this VHS overlay in my free preset bag. The link will be down in the description. It's the VHS number 4. It's in the overlays folder. So what I'm going to do is cut it right here. Oops. Right, cut it right here. I'm going to zoom out, click on it, go to normal, change it to screen or linear dodge, add something like this. So what I'm going to do right now is highlight them and right click nest so they become one single clip. And what I'm going to do is create black bars on the side. So what I've noticed is they use a lot of VHS overlays and they use a lot of black bars on the side now because they want to bring back the old look from the old videos. So you can do this in two ways. These sidebars, you can uncheck this uniform scale and just drop the scale width to about a 75, as you can see. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just go to the effects and search for a crop. Once you not find a crop, place it on top of your video and just change the left and right to about 15, right? And the reason I don't use this is because it actually crops the video, it doesn't resizes it. So maybe there's something important right here that I want to be in the clip and it's going to cut it out, because as you can see, it's cutting out the clip, it's not scaling it. So that's why I will be using the scale width. I'm going to drop it to 75, and as you can see, we have this right here and it looks just as a normal clip. But what I also noticed is when people add VHS overlays, they want to enhance the effect a little bit more. So what I do is search the effects like posterized time. It should be right here. So apply this effect right here. And what this effect does is basically dropping down your frame rate to make it more choppy. And I've seen Lone Wolf use this effect quite a lot. So here's how it looks. It looks really choppy. The reason why it's like twitching back is because this is not rendered out, but you get the point. Like it's gonna be like way more choppy, and if you drop it down even to 12 frame rate right here, what's gonna happen is, as you can see, it will look like this. So he uses this in a lot of, what was his name, the guy, oh shit, I forgot his name, the rapper he did a lot of videos for. So basically these are some trippy effects that any beginner can make in Premiere Pro, and I hope I explained them quickly so don't waste your time. If you want to keep learning with me, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I am not begging for likes, I just want you to keep learning with me, so stay tuned, subscribe, and thank you for having me here, and I'm out.